Canyon's ski resort, and I was still getting my legs under me when an unruly snowboarder crossed my path. A narrow miss, and I lost control. I gained speed until I went headfirst, sans helmet, into a block of ice and tumbled like a rag doll into a nearby ditch. My then boyfriend watched it all happen, which is the only way I have this information, and it feels foreign, like it didn't even happen to me. He ran to the crevice and found me face down in the snow. When he rolled my body over, I was unresponsive and brown liquid was seeping from my nose. Cerebral fluid. He'd taken various backcountry first aid courses and learned about those indicators. I was unconscious for about 8 minutes, enough time for the medics to caution, she may be paralyzed. On the way to the hospital, as the EMTs whisked me down the slope, I regained consciousness and illogically fought to escape the bindings. She's not paralyzed. That secured me on the bodyboard. My mom and dad flew from Ohio to Utah the next day and walked into my hospital room to find their 27-year-old daughter intubated and unresponsive, in a medically induced coma. By day 3, I was awake and could respond, but I couldn't remember things as basic as my birthday. My traumatic brain injury prevented much, if any, recollection. You know that crisp autumn apple that goes perfectly with a wedge of brie? Grab a bat and swing it at the apple. Now picture my brain as that apple. I was in bad shape. 5 days after the accident, I was discharged from the hospital, but I was far from my normal self. The doctor's notes indicated that there was a blood clot on my thalamus, the part of the brain that relays motor and sensory signals to the cerebral cortex, and an abnormality in the midbrain extending to the pons, part of the brainstem. I vaguely remember moments starting a few days after the crash, like snapshots from a movie I might have seen under the influence of heavy cold medication. It's a highlight reel of being pushed through the airport in a wheelchair, sitting next to my mom on the flight to Ohio. During my first week at my parents' house, I began to comprehend what had happened to me, why I couldn't stand on my own, why I couldn't walk without assistance. My mom supported the weight of my naked body to maneuver me in and out of the bathtub. I began to appreciate the erasure of my memory as a blessing. Life had been rolling along splendidly before that. In the 6 years I'd lived in New York City after college graduation, I'd worked my way up from the NBC Page program, the highly competitive internship-like job made famous by Tina Fey's television series 30 Rock, to get a job on the Today Show, being chummy with the hosts who greeted millions of Americans bright and early every morning. From there, I landed my dream job as an on-camera host at Now This News, a video news startup. Always chasing the next big opportunity, I was looking forward to an upcoming several months-long trip to Brazil for a video series about the food of the World Cup. I was dating a man I adored, but mind you, I fully intended on going to Brazil a single lady. And my career was on the rise. Needless to say, I had a sizable ego. Everything was perfect, or close to it, until everything came to a complete halt. The ensuing 3 months at home were composed of frequent physical therapy sessions and lots of chocolate ice cream. I attribute my recovery to both. The head injury most aggressively affected my vestibular system, the body's balance center. It's why humans can stand on 2 feet without falling over. I fell a lot in those months. Our brains, I learned, are miraculous little self-healing balls. They're elastic like a rubber band and can learn, recover, and adjust accordingly. Slowly, I pieced myself back together. And as I began to feel like myself, the first thing I reached for was my DSLR camera. I started to make videos using skills from my career, which felt like a parallel life somewhere in the stars, to investigate the things on my mind. Love, loyalty, hunger. Hunger both metaphorically and literally.